Hey guys, welcome back to your Lake Fork Guide. In today's episode, we're going to be going into tournament preparation and research and day one of practice for Bass Champs on Sam Rayburn. Really big one. So we are going to be fishing the Bass Champs tournament on Sam Rayburn January 9th. That's the big secret, not so secret, that I've been keeping from you guys as far as where we're going to be. I'm down here at Rayburn right now. This is New Year's Day. New Year's Eve was just last night. Now, Bass Champs is not a tournament you just sign up for and just hope you can catch. Like, there's some real fishermen that fish that Bass Champs trail, and especially on Sam Rayburn. Any tournament with a sizable entry fee on Sam Rayburn is going to draw some of probably the most difficult group of locals to compete with. Rayburn is notorious for having guys like Dickie Newberry and Steven Johnston, and over the years Todd Castledine, and I mean just a ton of guys. I mean, I'm leaving so many out. There's even more that have done more successful here recently. Some of those guys have more success in the past, but the group of locals that fishes these tournaments on Rayburn is probably the toughest group of locals to compete with in the country. So if you're going to show up to a lake like Sam Rayburn and you're going to sign up for a tournament that has a pretty sizable entry fee with Bass Champs, $300 and something for a team, that's going to draw some guys like $20,000 to the winners. There's going to be some dudes, and you better put your time in, you better put your work in if you want to have a chance to compete. And that all starts right here at the computers, where it starts these days. There's a lot you can do. So I wanted to start this video, I wanted to go in depth with you guys on kind of some of the research that I've done leading up to this trip, and the research that I'm continuing to do right now before I get out on the water for my first full day of practice. The first thing that I wanted to know was, what kind of fish do I need to be looking for? That way when I start practicing and I start catching fish, hey, maybe sometimes 3-pounders are good, sometimes 2-pounders are good, and sometimes if you don't have everything over 4 or 5 pounds, you ain't got a chance. So the first thing that I wanted to do was research, what kind of weight do I need to be targeting for Sam Rayburn this time of year specifically. One thing about fishing, this is one of the first tournaments of the year. It's on January 9th, so obviously it's one of the first tournaments of the year. We kind of go into a little bit of a lull with major tournaments in the fall and winter. Typically, some of those got pushed back this last year with everything that went on. But even that being said, there hasn't been a lot of major events on Rayburn just here real recently. So what I did was I actually went back and looked up lots of tournament results from Sam Rayburn last January and February timeframe. And there were a couple of outliers of some crazy big bags. Everybody remembers the Texas Team Trail had the 49-pound bag, which is just insane. It's the kind of fishery you're on, but still, all things considered, no matter where you are, that's just crazy. I mean, that's bigger than the all-time Bassmaster record, so that says a lot. But there was another 40-something pound bag caught to win a tournament last year, but most of the tournaments, every other tournament, pretty much took about 25 pounds to win it last year in January and February. So I know going into this, my target deal on game day, if I come to the scales over 20 pounds, especially if I can get up around 25, and if I can get over that, I feel like I've got a really good chance, hopefully, to win. Obviously, win is what we want to do, but you know, the one thing about tournament bass fishing is you're not just competing against other people. You got to kind of compete against the fish in the lake and the elements and all that, and that's one of the things that makes this game so great. So for me right now, my plan is I need to go out here and put a game plan together during practice that I feel like gives me a chance to catch 25 pounds. And if I go out there and execute and catch close to 25 pounds and I come to the scales, I'll let the chips fall where they may, and however it works out, it works out. Now don't get me wrong, if we can find out something better and we can go for something bigger, we absolutely will. That's the first thing I needed to know. Second thing I need to know is current lake conditions, what's been going on with Sam Rayburn. On the research before I came down here, Sam Rayburn has actually been about 5 foot low. And guys, it's really easy to do all this. You can literally just Google search anything these days. I went and looked specifically at Bass Champs and Texas Team Trail results because I knew that the guys that fish in the field in Bass Champs and Texas Team Trail, I looked at their results from last year because I know that the guys in that field are going to be the same guys. A lot of the same guys are going to be in this field that I'm competing against. But also just searched in Sam Rayburn tournament results and just looked for the tournaments that were in January and February. You can just Google it. It's so simple. You can also Google water levels. You can go Google Sam Rayburn water levels, and you'll get all kinds of sites that you can look at water levels on. There's really current ones. Water Data US Storage, something like that, is probably the one that has the most current data, but there's tons that will give you water levels within the last few days. So when I researched the water level, found out that Rayburn had been around 4 foot low, 5 foot low. It's been low. It's been below full pool quite a bit for a while now. Pretty stable leading into this week. Now, if you guys remember, on New Year's Eve we had just tremendous rain all over most of the state of Texas. It hammered us here yesterday. I've actually been here for a couple days now, and it absolutely hammered us here yesterday and all into the evening hours. I mean, it started the night before. I don't know how much rain they got, but it had to be, I don't know, in the 4, 5, 6 inch range, maybe higher than that. It was crazy. So all that water level research I did is going to like totally throw me off, because I know the lake's rising, and there's no way you get that much rain and the lake's not rising. So we're going to get out there today and kind of feel our way through the water level and see kind of what's going on. Now, like I alluded to, I've actually been here for a couple days just because of other business obligations, things that I had to take care of. I wasn't able to get full days on the water. The first day I was only able to spend a few hours, couple hours, had to get checked in the hotel and all kinds of stuff going on. And then yesterday, I didn't spend just a tremendous amount of time on the water either. But what I did was I just went out and looked for grass and kind of fished the way that I like to fish, right? I just went out the first couple days trying to stay in my comfort zone. And what I found was, with the lake being down 4 to 5 foot, a lot of the grass that I fished, the last time I was at Sam Rayburn was in April. And a lot of the grass that I'd fished was in 0 to 2 foot of water. Well, in January, that's not what you want. You want that grass to have a little depth on it. So I really spent a lot of time on the water the last couple of days, the limited time I was out there, idling in areas that are supposed to have grass, and idling and looking for deeper grass. And there is some grass. And I've found some grass in that 4 and 5 all the way down to 6 and 7 foot of water at times. And lo and behold, when I find that grass, most of the time I can get a couple bites out of it. And one thing that I do love is, so far, the bites that I've gotten out of the grass have been really good quality bites. I haven't caught a non-keeper in that in that deeper grass at all, and I've even caught a couple really good ones that I would absolutely love to have in a tournament bag. So I'm already kind of getting a couple clues. Hey, if I can find some deeper grass with a little bit of good water clarity to it, I could probably catch some quality fish. Here's a couple highlights from the last couple days. Such a soft bite right there, folks at home. Such a soft bite. That would be a, what we would refer to as a squeaker keeper right there. That fish would keep, but just barely probably. But finally figured something out. I've actually been fishing quite a while now. There's another one, the very next cast. That's a better one. That's a good keeper there. That one's not quite as lethargic either. That one is woke. It's woke. It's 2020. It's almost 2021. When y'all are watching this, oh, that is a really nice one. This is one you definitely would not be culling in a tournament unless you just ran away with it, and he ate it, Jack. Looky here, folks at home. Looky here, we may have figured something out. Found that deeper grass where it's grown in as the water has dropped, out in the mouth of a decent sized little old pocket. Small pocket for Rayburn, but decent sized pocket overall. Finally got that fish unhooked. That, probably pretty close to a 4-pounder, probably not quite a 4-pounder. Ear scratch. Please come back and see me in a couple weeks. I'd love to have you. Hey, very next cast, we might have figured a little something out. We'll see. Oh, hit it hard. Hit it hard. There we go. Little fat one. That's another squeaker keeper right there. That would keep in a tournament. Give you a couple pounds, about a little 1 3/4, 2-pounder, something like that. But I'll tell you what I do like. The best sign of all this has been the way, even the grinnell. I just got here, been here 15 minutes,
been 5 minutes, not, it's been 3 minutes since we had that grinnell bite. Just turn around throughout the middle. But I really like the way the fish are hitting, whether it's the grinnell, whether it's a bass. They're both feeding on the same stuff in here. Made that color change over to that hot crawl, hot crawl. Got that red belly, green pumpkin on the rest of it. Green pumpkin, live magic shad. Making that little change right there, these fish seem to be getting the bait a lot better than they were yesterday. The bites I got yesterday were really, really mushy, loaded up bites. These 2 bites have been intense. They have whacked it. So could be a good sign of things coming. We're just getting started today. We're gonna see if we can't dial them in a little bit here. Oh, it's a big. It's a really pretty dang big one. Pretty darn big one here, folks. Oh, we got a second wind there for a second. It's a really big one. A really, really big one. Get up here, baby. Look here. Huh? Hold up now. Huh? Huh? You know what I'm saying? Like, look. Oh, I just barely had him. He hit it, knocked it forward. Come on now. If we can get 5 of these in a tournament situation, that's going to be what you call having a real good chance. That's a big, folks. I'm digging this chatterbait deal. Really, really digging this chatterbait deal. That's awesome.
Now that being said, I'm not getting very many bites. It's a bite an hour at best on that grass when I'm fishing it usually. So I'm not catching very many fish, but as you can see, the quality is there. I'm loving the quality that I'm catching. Now, changing conditions like we just alluded to, rising water. It's a big cold front. It's really, really cold out there today. This morning it's going to be cold. Tomorrow morning it's going to be in the 30s. We've only got a high like 50 something today. The water temp was around 60 degrees, 58 to 60, 61 over the last couple days. I imagine that's going to be dropping a tremendous amount today. It's going to never get a chance to climb. It's going to continue to drop today, and then 37 degrees in the morning. It's going to continue to make that drop. Good news is after that, the weather's going to get back in the 60s, and the extended forecast right now has the weather in the 60s throughout next week leading into the tournament. One thing about Bass Champs is it goes off limits 5 days before the tournament. So we're going to fish. Today's Friday. We're going to fish today. We're going to fish Saturday. We're going to fish Sunday. And then we're going to be off limits until the following Saturday when we fish the event. It looks like that water temperature should stabilize and be pretty good, and temperature-wise should hold out for that grass pattern. But what I want to really do today is I want to spend some time really navigating the lake, driving around the lake, and looking for some more main lake structure type of stuff. I found a couple areas that I'm really happy with about the grass. I feel like I can grind out some big bites in there, but I want some main lake stuff in case the weather changes. The forecast is prone to change sometimes in the state of Texas. So we're going to look for some more main lake stuff that'll be a little bit more stable if we get some changing conditions, water temperature dropping. One other factor is with all that rain, man, those areas where I was catching fish in the grass, they might be muddied up. The water might have got too dirty for me. So I want to get some more main lake down on the south end type areas where I can depend on hopefully a little bit of better water clarity in case that water doesn't clear up between now and next Saturday. If I pull up in grass and the water's all dirty, I need to have some places I can run. So that's what we're going to look for today. And this is where some online research is really going to come into play. Now, it's going to be a plug, but I got to say it. The best thing that there is going to do research on a body of water on the lakes that we have on the Fish Life app, where we have a premium package, there is nothing that will make you learn faster what the pattern is and what you need to look for than that Fish Life app. So we're going to open it up. We're going to go to the Sam Rayburn Premium Package. You guys can download the app for free. Subscribe only to the lake that you fish or the lakes that you fish. So if you're coming to fish a tournament at Rayburn in the future, hey, go subscribe to the Premium Package on Rayburn or Fork or Toledo Bend or, just all the lakes. We got Texoma, Hubbard. I can sit here and list all the lakes, but you guys can go download the app for free and check it out. We're going to get on that app. We're also going to get on the Navionics web app, and we're going to kind of look at some of those spots. on the app, and then really look at them in detail a little more on the Navionics and really kind of get a feel for what we're doing, we're going to make us a list of several of these spots, and we're going to go check all of them out today. That's what our game plan is for today. All right, so we're going to open our Fish Life app. When you get here, it'll have all the lakes on the premium package. You can just scroll down, and Sam Rayburn's almost at the bottom right there, Sam Rayburn. And you can just scroll around, and what your waypoints will look like is this little red icon right here, and you click that, okay, and it'll open up. So you click on it, that'll pop up, and I know you guys can't read that. I'll read it to you. This is a Creek Channel 3. It says, find the edge of the submerged point, scan with your electronics, scan the Creek Channel. Also, fish by casting Carolina rigs, Texas rigs, or jigs from the point to the Creek Channel. Work bait slowly as the water temperatures decline. All right, so now we've got Big Sam right here. We're going to scroll over to that spot. All right, so as we pull it up on the Navionics web app, you can see there's actually somebody dropped one of these Navionics fish icons here, so somebody's caught a fish there. But there's the Creek Channel. It looks like there's a swing in the Creek Channel right here, and that point runs out this way, so you got a Creek Channel swing with a point. That's the top area. Now, that is in a pocket. It's not out on the main lake. That water might be dirty there, but that's a good area that's going to have fish that may be a little more stable relating to structure versus shallow fish that may freak out when it gets a little dirty. All right, so we got another waypoint here. Again, I know this camera's not showing you guys what I need to show you on here. You can't see it, but I'll read it to you. And we found it right here. This is the mouth of that creek where that waypoint is located, like right here. So it says, find the creek channel using electronics. Once located, throw a jig or Caroline rig and work it through the channel slowly. Fish are staging from the creek channel mouth to the point. So right here in the mouth and up to this point, or maybe up to another point, maybe this point, I don't know. We'll have to get in there and do a little exploration, but sounds like there's some fish generally staging in this creek channel right in the mouth of this. Again, that's a main lake piece of structure, and that's what we're looking for. As you guys can see, it is literally that easy. You know, that's just 2 spots, but I mean, it's that long. You pull out the app, it's got the spots marked. You see what type of area it is. And what you can also do at the same time is you can take that, and I can explore around on the Navionics web app, and I can mark other areas that look similar on the Navionics app to the areas that are marked on here. So not only do I get the spots that are on the app that are telling me, hey, there's fish here right now, this is how we catch them, this is the type of area it is, I can also duplicate that, or try to duplicate that, by looking at other areas on the map and really get just an unlimited amount of information right here from the Fish Life app premium packages. It's a great tool. We worked really hard to develop it. You know, I put the waypoints on the Lake Fork package. We have other guys that do them on different lakes. We have a guy here on Rayburn, and it's unbelievable how fast. I mean, guys, you saw it. It's like 5 minutes. Boom. I'm figuring it out. You give me 30 minutes to an hour on this thing, I'll have a ton of spots all over the lake for me to go fish today. So instead of taking you guys through every single waypoint that I'm going to look at today and eating up a whole video just showing you pointless pictures of Navionics web app, I'm actually going to go ahead and do my research now. We're going to get out on the water. Now, we're going to have a whole series of videos. We're going to make a video out of this preparation deal and how to prepare. We're also going to make videos of my practice days on the water. Then, of course, we're going to have a video from the tournament itself. So over the next couple of weeks, we'll probably have about 3 or 4 videos coming out from the Rayburn Adventures. We're going to go get after them. So, hey, listen, I appreciate you guys watching this today. I hope this can help y'all prepare. Hey, do your research, find your tournament results, know what you need going into it, find out current lake conditions. You can do all that before you ever leave. Get the Fish Life app. If it's on one of your lakes, get on Navionics web app and get to doing some research, have a game plan, then go hit the water and start putting together your final game plan on what you need to do on tournament day. All right, so I'm going to finish up my research, finish up making my list of spots to go check out today. Now, today we might not actually do that much fishing. Might not be a lot of fish catching in this video, but we are going to drive a tremendous amount of Sam Rayburn today. Wind willing on this big summer gun. This is a huge lake. The wind can get crazy out here. But we're going to cover as much water as we can today. We're going to look at as many spots, educate ourselves, really start dialing down what areas we want to focus on, what type of areas we want to focus on. And we've got a couple more days after this to really dial in the actual patterns of how we're going to get our bites and things like that. So let's get out there on the water. Let me finish up this research, and we'll take you guys out on the water here in just a second. And we're going to really look at some areas on the electronics. We're going to fish them a little bit. We're going to teach ourselves a lot about Sam Rayburn today. We're going to take you guys along. So let's go. Well, all right, guys, we're out on the water now, and hey, we've come to our first spot that we found on the Fish Life app. We confirmed what was going on there in Navionics, learned a little bit more about it. Hey, there's a creek channel, runs up against a little shallow point that runs out here. It creates a big drop off. We'll kind of show you what we're looking at now. So you guys can see right there, get around the glare a little bit. Obvious creek channel right here. Big tree or maybe an artificial brush pile, stump on the edge, bait around the stump. There's one fish marked right over here for sure. Might be some fish. Looks like might be some fish in that brush pile or whatever that is. But a good looking spot, man. The point runs right up next to this creek channel. It looks good. It all looks really good.
So a little bit of life here, spots marked on the app. We're gonna fish around, probably pick up a jig, because you know it's January 1st now, and I love throwing a black and blue jig in the winter. So we're gonna get in there with the jig and see if we can catch one out of there. If we catch one or two, we'll probably roll and just look for more spots that map out like that. All right, guys, no bites there. I like this area. It looks good. Looked like there was some life around it. Listen, today, it's probably going to be hard to get bites, and we're trying to fish fast and not. I spend about 10 minutes on the spots, all I want to spend, because I want to cover as many of them as I can. Remember, I got the next 2 days to dial in what the bite's going to be. Really, I'm just out here surveying and covering as much ground as I can today, more than anything. Now, this area looks good. There's life there. I like the depth changes. You guys, I showed that to you on the graph. It looks really good. So we'll probably come back to this on another day over the next couple days. Right now, we just need to keep running. We need to keep covering water and looking at all these spots and really starting to figure out which ones are going to be at the top of our list. You know, by the time we're done today, maybe this one doesn't make the cut. We'll just have to see. As you guys can see, this next spot that was marked on the app is another creek channel area. It has a ton of cover, and it appears to be several fish scattered in there around that cover. Listen, we might spend a little more time on this. We need to try and get a bite out of this group. That's a good looking group of fish in that little brush and creek right there. Well, we didn't end up getting any fish in the boat there. Probably spent more time than I should have. Tied on a few different baits. I went in there and fished with a finesse jig and a regular jig and a Carolina rig. I tied on a shaky head, never threw that in there. The wind's just blowing too hard for me to fish that little finesse shaky head in there. But hey, I did have a couple fish bite the Carolina rig. Short bite, it felt like, probably smaller fish. But that right there is the type of area. I mean, it's right at the mouth of, this is one of the most popular. This is Five Fingers. This is kind of out in the middle of Five Fingers, and it's one of the more popular coves. I mean, there's a lot of fish. A big source of fish are going to spawn in here. As crazy as it sounds, there's already some grouping fish for pre-spawn this early in the year, because fish will start spawning early down here. That being said, that spot just looks truly dynamic. Creek channel. There was even a junction right up just a little ways from that big giant tree brush pile, lots of heavy cover, and as you guys saw, plenty of fish on the graph. So a spot that I'll definitely be hitting hard and fishing hard over the next couple days. Right now, probably spent more time than I should have on it. We got a late start this morning, like everything's kind of going against us. Also, this wind is blowing, and it's blowing out of the west-northwest, which, if you know Rayburn, it's taking me a little while to get anywhere. And Rayburn's so dang big, it's adding a lot of time to me moving around from one spot to the other. So we're gonna get going, see what else we can do. Hopefully we don't drown out here in the middle of Sam Rayburn. Well, guys, Big Sam has thrown me some big curveballs today, that's for sure. I'm telling you, it is rough out there. I'm having to kind of change my plan on what I'm doing today. I started out wanting to run a bunch of main lake driven stuff down on the south end, and it's just taking me so long to get anywhere with the rough water down there in front of the dam that I kind of had to change game plans. I actually came all the way up the east side. I'm pulling out of an area right now that I fished the other day, and I caught a couple fish in, good healthy grass. I wanted to come up here, if nothing else, and at least get eyes on this and see if all that weather dirtied this up too bad, see the water clarity, see what the water level was, take a look at the grass, all that good stuff. So everything after all the bad weather looks pretty good up here. The water clarity really hasn't changed much. The temperatures in the water has dropped a few degrees, and it'll continue to drop some more tomorrow. But that's going to be a whole different ballgame come tournament day. Not too worried about that right now. Mainly wanted to see the water clarity and the water level. All that looks like it stayed pretty stable compared to what it had been. I'm going to run and check one more of these areas that I've already fished before today, and see if I can get, hopefully maybe get a bite in there just to kind of confirm I can still catch them even when the water temps drop. And other than that, probably what I'm going to do is maybe explore around a little bit the rest of the day and look for some more grass areas that pattern like this, like I have been the other 2 days, because I just can't do much on that main lake driven stuff with the wind doing what it's doing today. We're starting to get on in the day now. Like I said, I've probably been driving in the boat for freaking an hour before I ever got here. The sun's starting to get closer to the tree line, just got a little bit of time left. Put together what we can today. Good news is tomorrow supposed to have calm winds in the morning, so we should be able to run some of that main lake stuff in the morning. We'll figure it out there. Always got to be Semper Gumby for all my Marine Corps brethren out there. Always flexible. Got to be ready to move. Change plans on a whim if you're going to be in fishing. Well, you guys can probably see in the background here, man, this water did change colors quite a bit in this second area. Now, this is the area you guys saw earlier in the video where I caught 2 in a row on one of the bigger fish I've caught since I've been here. So I was really liking this area, but it did get blown out by dirt. Now, that's not going to take it off my list for next weekend possibly, because I'm going to have a lot of time for that water to clear up over the week. As you can also see behind me, we're starting to lose light. It's getting towards the end of the day. I got a long way back to the ramp because this is Big Sam, so it's a long way back down there. So I'm gonna ease on back that way, get this thing back on the trailer and call it a day today, man. I'll tell you what, Big Sam kind of whooped me today. It threw me, it's really just the wind and how bad it gets out here with the wind. I just don't have that much experience out here, driving a boat out here and things like that. And man, it really threw me a curveball. It was a real pain in the butt to get around out here today. It really made me change what I was doing in the middle of the day. That's okay. That's why we got multiple days. I do have an idea. Some of the areas that have grass, I did find at least one. I found that one spot where we got a couple short strikes that I really like. That one kind of offshore main lake spot that looked really good. So we'll let this thing back up tomorrow and the next day and see if we can't find some more stuff like that. Put some puzzle. I got brain freeze. I'm cold. Put some puzzle pieces together ahead of this Bass Champs tournament. Hopefully by the time this thing's all said and done, we're going to show you guys how we broke it down, show you how we found everything we found, and maybe we'll come out here making a little money on the end of this deal. We'll see. But anyways, man, thank you guys so much for watching. Hey, check out that Fish Life app. Like I said, I was able to go find spots and start finding things that were pretty important and pretty impressive right off the bat. It didn't take me any time at all. If you guys are looking for tournament help, number one way to do it, Fish Life app. Check it out, linked in the description. Appreciate all y'all watching as always. Hey, the next couple practice days will be our next video, and then of course after that we'll have the tournament video, and I hope you guys are looking forward to it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time right here on your Lake Fork Guide.